Welcome to Empowered Mind, Body, Soul. I'm your host, Olivia Paige with Ascension Healing Sounds. And in today's episode, we are joined by special guest Bryony Rogers with Heartsong Healing. She is from New Zealand and she is a voice empowerment coach, healer, and teacher. And today we are going to be talking about how using her voice helped her overcome chronic fatigue syndrome. Empowered Mind, Body, Soul, a podcast journey to your truth with heartfelt stories, sound healing, and life hacks.
Thanks, Olivia. It's great to be here.
Hi, Bryony. I'm so
Hi.
excited to have you. I'm so excited to learn about the voice and your journey with using your voice and empowerment with using your voice.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a great journey and I love to share about this work.
How did using your voice and starting your spiritual journey help you to overcome the chronic fatigue syndrome?
Late 1990s, when I became really unwell with chronic fatigue syndrome, and I had to stop all my work and really change my life in a really fundamental way. And I was really quite ill for a few weeks. And then I started a process of meditation and spiritual connection guided by the medical establishment. Actually, they told me that meditation would help me heal from chronic fatigue syndrome, and it really did. And the spiritual guidance that I received through that process was that the chronic fatigue syndrome was really an expression of a kind of disconnection spiritually. And so I had to reconnect. And through that process of meditation, I also started to use my voice in a conscious way and with singing and sounding in a kind of a new way. And this really transformed my energy and my health generally and helped me really significantly on my recovery journey from chronic fatigue syndrome. I was starting to receive guidance spiritually and I was starting to meditate more and more frequently. And at the same time, I was starting this journey of using my voice in a new way. And because I had such tangible results in my experience of my health and my life, I started to study and learn more about the healing benefits of using your voice, and then went on to train in that and to now share that work with clients.
Okay. And so before you started this journey, did you like to sing before, or was that new for you?
As a child, I sang. And then what happened to me was something that happens to a lot of people, and particularly I know to a lot of women in Western societies, is that we have an experience of that an experience which knocks our confidence around our voice. And I know that lots of people who come and see me now have lack of confidence in their voice, a feeling of a blocked throat chakra. And there's lots of reasons for this, but often there is the experience of having a school time experience or a childhood experience of being told you're singing out of tune or something like that.
Mm.
And so I had a few stressful experiences as a child and lost a lot of confidence in my voice. And so in my teenage and my early 20s was very constrained in my experience of my voice. So what happened when I became unwell with chronic fatigue syndrome was that my life stopped and shifted a gear, which is what often happens for us when we experience chronic fatigue syndrome. I think it's quite a common experience that illness of any kind, when people experience a health crisis, it often opens life up a bit and shifts our perspective. And that's what happened for me. And into that experience, I remembered my childhood experience of singing and how much pleasure it gave me. And I sought out a choir and I started to do it more and really noticed the health benefits. And then, obviously, when I went on to study this more, I found out that there's an enormous amount of scientific evidence that shows and supports the health benefits and really strong physiological benefits of singing and using the voice in conscious ways. And I was really living proof of that.
Sounds like an amazing journey. You said that meditation had really helped you and helped open things up for you and become more connected with your spiritual self. What other topics or modalities did you also learn in your spiritual awakening?
The main things for me were meditation, and I did a lot of yoga, I did a lot of meditation. And what happened as I started to meditate was that I was starting to receive audible guidance. So this came in the 1990s with just phrases coming to me, and I was having a lot of connection with different spiritual beings like Isis and Kuan Yin and Tara and Mother Mary and Archangel Michael. And I was starting over the kind of years around that time, I started to receive a lot of audible guidance, a lot of spiritual information about the ascension journey and the ascension process that we are all in. I also learned and started to do a lot of practice around shamanic journeying and receiving guidance through that as well. So I was receiving a lot of guidance, which was really starting to become more and more important in my life. And this led to me moving away from living in the city in London and moving to live at the spiritual community, which is a Scottish spiritual community,
Yeah.
and in the Highlands. And I lived there for a couple of years. And that's when things really opened up for me. And I started connecting a lot more with a lot of channeled guidance and receiving more guidance from these particular guides and ascended masters.
I love that you talked about how important meditation was because I remember when I first learned Reiki, my teacher, she had told me to like journal a lot and meditate. And I remember feeling really annoyed by her answer because I was just kind of like, that's not going to do anything for me. Like, what the heck is journaling and meditating going to do for me? And she was right. It really helped open up my intuition because I was starting to see the correlations in what I was getting in meditation, what I was experiencing in the world around me. And I could look back through my journals and be like, oh, okay, these are spirit signs. This is some guidance that I'm receiving. I personally think that meditation doesn't have to be hard. I think people feel a little intimidated by meditation. And I used to lead a meditation group, and I always just had the focus, whether it was like an emotion or something like that, like gratitude. But I always would teach that it's okay if your mind wanders and let it wander. And then when you remember, oh, yeah, we're meditating on feeling gratitude, then you bring your focus back to what our intention was. And I don't think it needs to be much harder than that. I do know that there are different meditation styles, but I think when you're starting out, it's easier to have less rules than more rules so that
For
you can
sure.
get
Yeah.
used to.
For
Yeah.
sure, yeah. No, I really agree with you. And I think where I am now and the way that I practice now, I interweave meditation and Reiki and energy work and voice and all of this into my day in a very fluid sort of way. I meditate a number of times through the day, but it's very much just about that kind of easeful resting into the silence and the stillness. And when I was talking before, where we started in the conversation, really that's 20 years ago, that stage of my journey. And obviously, it's been a long journey since then. And I've done all my energy training and my Reiki training. And, that really supported my spiritual journey too. And the journaling you speak about is something that has been so important for me, especially when I was starting to receive the guidance I just mentioned. I would write it all down, and I have since written it into a book and published it and printed it and sold it to various people around the world, and a number of them have said that they found it helpful in their own process of their own guidance and connecting with spirit for themselves. So I still do have that book available. It's called The Golden Road, My Journey with Spirit.
Okay. Is it available on
It's on
Amazon?
Amazon. Yeah, it's on Amazon, and it's available directly from me as well.
Okay. Okay, great. So, can you tell us a little bit about what it was like to live in that community in Scotland?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's interesting to talk about it, and it's a really rich subject. And also, it's a little bit poignant at the moment because the community, sadly, a couple of years ago, suffered from an arson attack, and
Oh, no.
also has had a lot of financial problems. So they're not operating in the same way as they were before. But for 50 years, that community was there, and I was there, as I said, around the turn of the millennium. And it was a very potent time for me to live there. There was a lot of heightened energy, partly because of the geography of the community, and the energies of the earth were very strong there. There were a lot of energy portals that were opening up, and also because of the concentration of having a lot of meditators and a lot of people receiving guidance together in one space. And when I was living there, I was receiving a lot of guidance from spirit to develop my healing journey. So I was receiving guidance in terms of spiritual trainings in my dream state and in my meditation state. And then I was going on to develop those trainings and receive more trainings in waking life as well. But it was lovely to have the community support around me, and had a lot of really good friends, and it was a beautiful time.
That sounds amazing. Scotland, I've only seen pictures, but it looks like a beautiful country.
It is, yeah, lovely. And New Zealand, where I live now, is very close to Scotland in some of the aspects. Close to where I live now feels similar, with the hills and the sea close by, and the beach, the white beach, and strong natural energy both in New Zealand and in Scotland. And that's something that has really supported my spiritual journey and my life journey.
Yeah, New Zealand is definitely someplace I've always wanted to visit too. It also looks like an incredibly beautiful place.
It is a very beautiful place here in New Zealand. I feel lucky to live here. Yeah.
You said that through this journey you started learning how to use your voice more. What were you taking trainings? Was this just spirit guidance? What was helping you to use your voice more?
Going back to the beginning again, when I was unwell with chronic fatigue syndrome, that's when I started to open my voice and started to sing. And I was receiving support and guidance through being in a singing group and working with a teacher, also through a lot of guidance from spirit, and also through my own practicing, through research and study that I was starting to do into voice practicing. So I was doing various conscious sounding techniques of humming and sounding and toning, that I now teach people as part of the one-to-one voice empowerment coaching that I do, and the courses that I lead. And basically, these are really good hacks for creating enormous physiological benefits. Like the practice of humming and sounding can really reduce the blood pressure, reduce the heart rate, increase dopamine production in the body, making us feel better, and also increase lymph flow, increase nitric oxide in the body. Some really, and lots more effects. And so we can really, so I was doing this while I was unwell with chronic fatigue syndrome, and at other times in my life where I've been suffering from quite extreme anxiety, I've used these humming practices or these sounding practices, and really noticed enormous change. And for sure, in the couple of years after the sort of first time I started working with this and recovered from chronic fatigue syndrome, went on to do trainings with voice healers and teachers like Chloe Goodchild, and doing different sound healing practices in different parts of England.
That sounds incredible. So, is there any science that backs up the benefits of sound healing, or is it just evidential?
There's a great book by Jonathan Goldman, who is a sound healer who is
Hmm.
in America. You will know of him. Yeah, Jonathan
I
Goldman.
do know of him.
He's written an amazing book called The Humming Effect. And
Mhm.
basically, this brings together lots of scientific research that shows these tangible physiological benefits that have been shown in scientific laboratories from specifically the practice of humming. But the practice of sounding and singing has also got scientific research behind it showing these physiological benefits. So it is scientifically proven. And that book by Jonathan Goldman is a really good research resource because
Okay.
it brings together into the Western world a lot of scientific evidence, which is Western scientific evidence, but it comes from an Eastern culture. And so it's not from big Western universities, but it is
Okay.
conducted under proper conditions. So,
Oh,
yeah, there's
okay.
lots of evidence.
Okay. And so, can you tell us a little bit more about the services that you offer?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I work with individual people who want to step into a new sense of their voice, a new sense of their authentic voice. And I help people in different ways. I help people to get a new sense of their voice and to strengthen their voice, become more confident with their voice. And I do that in a holistic framework and a spiritual framework. So that work also supports people getting in touch with spiritual guidance and their soul voice and to strengthen their life path in that way. And that happens one to one, and it also happens in courses that I offer regularly. Probably every 3, 4 months, I have a course offering online, and I have one of those coming up in a 5 week program that I'm offering with 4 other amazing coaches, and that's in starting in August.
Oh,
Should
okay.
would you like me to tell you a little bit about that?
Yeah, yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, so that's an amazing course. It's called Empower and Connect, and it's 5 weeks basically giving skills and techniques to get in touch with the wisdom inside you. So it's empowering and connecting with that wisdom inside you. And I'm supporting that through teaching these voice empowerment techniques. Ginny Jones is working with the intuition, supporting people with the intuition. There are energy upgrades, activations, there'll be emotional intelligence support, biohacking, qigong, and life coaching, all these different modalities. And this course is offered to support people who are feeling a little lost or feeling a little in need of some strengthening of their sense of themselves. It's a 5 week safe container to really dive into some of these really transformative practices. And like I said, using these voice practices helped me to recover from chronic fatigue syndrome. And I have on my website a whole lot of client testimonials of other people who have experienced really big changes in their life, changes in health and changes in manifesting good things in their life through using their voice and clearing those channels because it really is transformative work, and it can cause a lot of positive benefits. So I'm really keen to offer this work in as many ways as I can. And if anyone listening to this wants to get in touch with me, please do, and I can send details, and we'll have details about the events and the course coming up.
Okay. And so what is your website?
My website is www.heartsonghealing.life.
Okay. All
And
right.
I do
Perfect.
also have another website address, which is songofawakening.com.
Oh, okay. We will definitely add those in the show notes so people can find them easily there.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Olivia. Yeah. I love to
Yeah, of
share this
course.
work because it really has changed my life. And I know that the more that I share this work, the more I can benefit other people. And my work really is a close fusion of voice coaching and voice empowerment work with spiritual guidance and spiritual support, and enabling people to step into their power on a deeper level. And I'd love to just maybe share a little meditation now, if that would be something
Sure.
that would be nice for people.
During the next portion of the podcast, this will be a short meditation and visualization exercise. I recommend that you are not driving or operating heavy machinery if you choose to participate in this meditation.
Yeah, if we just close our eyes a minute, and I'll just do a little bit of sound healing.
Okay.
So we're just going to do a deep breath, connect in with our heart, and remember the power of our voice. Remember the power of your voice. Remember the enormous power that you have as a spiritual being with a voice. Feel yourself seated. Connect in with the huge energy of your heart and ask for guidance, that you might receive all you need at the highest level for the highest good at this time. This chime is a Koshi healing chime from the Pyrenees, and it brings healing energy, connecting this realm with the angelic realm, bringing through healing to all those listening, bringing through healing for the highest good. So the practice of humming, having a conscious awareness as we hum of our mind, body, spirit, can bring these changes that I've spoken about. So we have our mouth closed and we just hum gently, and this will cause the heart rate to drop, it will cause blood pressure to drop, and it will increase dopamine in the body. So your listeners can try that and listen to the section where I was just playing. These are the lovely chimes, the koshi chimes. It's the practice that I wanted to share is just a simple humming practice where we close our mouth and make a humming with a conscious awareness of the effects on the body. And I do have on my website an email sign up form where I send as a gift for those people who sign up for my email newsletter, which
Okay.
includes guidance and events. I do have a humming audio meditation which guides you through the detailed practice of a really beneficial humming practice that can be used whenever you need it and to really shift your energy, bring about these benefits. So I have that on my website.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I know we talked about some of the health benefits of using the voice. How does using the voice relate to feeling more empowered?
Definitely. Yeah, that's a really good question. So those health benefits that I spoke of, the reduced blood pressure, the reduced heart rate, they help us to step more fully into a kind of embodied self. So the work that I do and the coaching that I offer helps people to step into a stronger sense of voice and spirit, which it's like it connects up all the different layers of the self, and that causes a great strengthening of personal power. And the more that we have a positive relationship to our voice, which is what a lot of my voice coaching is based around, the stronger our sense of power in the world is. A lot of people, when they first come to me for voice coaching, they might have quite a negative self talk or a negative experience in the world. And the voice work that we do, and the meditation, and the spiritual kind of coaching and holistic coaching around the voice empowerment really gives us a new relationship to ourselves. And that is where the sense of personal power comes from. And also knowing that you have more confidence and more ability and skill with your voice helps you to feel more empowered in quite a strong and tangible way.
Okay, awesome. So I'm curious, when people come to you for voice coaching, is this similar to like coming, like if I was coming for voice lessons, oh, I want to learn how to strengthen and use my voice so I could become a better singer? Or is it just about learning the humming? Or can you talk a little bit about that?
I work with different people depending on their needs, but people come to me to strengthen singing benefits, but also speaking benefits and health benefits. The work is not just the humming, it's also a whole lot of different voice techniques and exercises that are very powerful.
Do you work with clients virtually and in person?
Yes, I mainly work with clients virtually for the voice coaching. Um, and I also do Reiki healing online and virtually as well. So I do the healing and the coaching both online and in person here in New Zealand in the Wellington region. But I do a lot of it virtually and online as well. And I get
Okay,
some
and
really powerful effects for people working in that way.
yeah, absolutely. When someone comes to you for a healing session, do you use your voice during a healing session?
Yes, I use my voice, but when the focus is healing rather than voice empowerment, then I will work primarily with energy and work
Okay.
with the individual's energy using guidance from spirit and working closely with different levels of the energy system and spiritual guidance to bring about healing and transformation.
Okay. Alrighty. And when you work with somebody virtually, is it live virtual?
I work both in that way, so I will have someone lying down and we'll be connected by Zoom. I work virtually in that way, but I also do work purely by distance healing because you will know yourself, distance Reiki is just as powerful and effective as in-person Reiki. Energy is a something that can be we enter a timeless space with energy and work with anyone anywhere in the world. I've done a lot of distance healing over the years and have had some great results with people, and the distance healing that I offer tends to impact all areas of life and can impact different relationships and past life and karmic issues as well. So it is very high level healing, the healing work that I offer.
Yeah, I definitely know that there is no difference really to an in-person or a virtual healing
Yeah,
session.
sure.
I know my sessions I do all by recording, so because I use my voice, so when I'm going through and clearing someone's chakras or clearing blocks and things like that, I use my voice. So I record it all and then they receive that
Nice.
healing when they listen, and so I'm singing and doing light language to help clear those
Nice.
blocks. So they just get a recording and then they can have that and listen to that whenever they want.
Nice. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, I do recordings of healing chants and light language for people too, but when I work with the energy healing, I I don't record it actually, and that's a really nice idea the way you do it. So you do the healing as a kind of distance healing and record the voice aspects? Do you do
Yes.
and the light language together?
Yeah, I just set the intention that I'm using Reiki and my light language, and that the recipient or my client will receive it once they listen to the recording. And so then I just go through and I'll be like, "Oh, I'm at your root chakra and we're going to clear the energy of despair." So then I set that intention, and then maybe I'll say, clear the energy of despair. And I want you to focus on feeling empowered or something like that. I'll give them something to focus on. And then, okay, I'm clearing despair. Sometimes an angel will come in, whatever. And then I just sing. I also know it, I know my heart. And I'll just do whatever comes through to clear that block. So that's why I record it,
Beautiful.
is just so much easier. Thank you. And then they just listen to that, and then they have that. They can listen to it again or whatever.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
when I work distance healing with people, what been doing recently is setting up a Zoom link and then doing it live as a session, which includes the voice work and the using my voice with sounding and singing. I don't record it. I'm doing it
Yeah.
as a sharing.
Yeah, I just do it
Yeah.
this way because then there isn't any kind of like, they don't have to be in a certain place at a certain time, and
Yeah.
neither do
Yeah.
I. And then they get that healing when it's convenient for them, when they're able to listen to it and be
Absolutely,
relaxed.
yeah, because that's the wonderful thing about energy healing and Reiki
Yeah.
and all these things is because they're outside time, we can make them be operable when they need to come into time. Yeah, I love
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
beautiful.
So before we wrap up, is there anything else that you would like to say or share with us?
I'm just really glad to share. I've just noticed that recording we're at 44, 4-4. And I see so many repeated numbers at the moment. As I was driving in my car this morning, there was a 2-2 and a 5-5 parked just in front of me. And now it's a 4-4. I know that the angelic realm is really present and the spiritual energies are really strong at the moment in this time that we are. We're coming down to the new moon on in a few days, and I'm just really grateful to have this opportunity to connect with your listeners and to share about voice work and energy work and healing. And I'd love to be able to connect with anyone who wants to discuss further with me or to join the Empower and Connect Finding the Wisdom Within course that we're offering in August for 5 weeks.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciated our time together and learning about the benefits of using your voice, how you can feel empowered, connecting with your voice more, and even the health benefits of using your voice.
Definite tangible health benefits. And I'm living proof of that because using my voice was totally central in me recovering from chronic fatigue syndrome. And also, it has significantly improved my mental health when I've suffered from anxiety at different times. And, like,
Yeah.
even on a day-to-day basis when I'm driving, as I mentioned before, if I'm in a traffic jam, I will use the humming and the Reiki to clear the energies and to clear any stress or anxiety, but also to clear the energy going forward.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, for me with the light language, I just love to sing. And so if I'm cooking or doing dishes or chores or
Mm.
driving or at the grocery store, even, I
Yeah,
will
yeah,
be
for
singing
sure.
light language sometimes.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely. Me too, because that light language that we tap into, there's lots of different flavors of light language, but basically what it's doing is it's lifting our vibration into
right.
another dimensional reality, and that's essential for the ascension journey, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely, for sure. All right.
Beautiful.
Well,
So lovely to connect with you, Olivia. Thank you.
yeah, thanks for being here. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining me in today's episode. Be sure to check the show notes for guest links and other helpful information. I'm your host, Olivia Paige, and you can find me on all the social media platforms at Ascension Healing Sounds.